Hi guys, what's up? It's your boy Crypto Marco yet again with another awesome video on the topic of cryptocurrencies, and today we want to take a look at the decentralized supercomputer Golem. Afterwards we'll do a little coin market cap analysis and talk about the whole situation with China and South Korea. And if you enjoy this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Always appreciate it. If you have a question, just comment down below with your question. And don't forget to include your Litecoin address, because among everybody commenting, I'm giving away a small amount of Litecoin. So guys, keep in mind that this is my personal opinion and not financial advice. So an overview of what we're going to talk about. What is Golem? The concept of it, the ecosystem of Golem, some use cases where Golem is actually being used, the competition, and some news on Golem, and also the price development. Then at the end, small conclusion, what I think about Golem. So what is Golem? Basically, in one sentence, Golem is an open source and decentralized supercomputer that anyone can access. And the concept looks like this, and I quote from the Golem webpage: Golem is a global open source decentralized supercomputer that anyone can access. It is made up of the combined power of users' machines, from PCs to entire data centers. So basically, you give the network, the peer-to-peer network, your hashing rate, your computing power of your PCs, and then other people can use that for their operations. They can rent it, so they don't have to buy insane costly server centers and PC farms or rendering farms for their companies. Golem is capable of computing a wide variety of tasks, from CGI rendering through machine learning to scientific computing. Golem's limitations are only defined by software developers' creativity. Let me move the camera. Golem creates a decentralized sharing economy of computing power and supplies software developers with a flexible, reliable, and cheap source of computing power. The ecosystem looks like this. So Golem enables users and applications to rent out cycles of other users' machines. Any user ranging from a single PC owner to a large data center can share resources through Golem and get paid in Golem network tokens by requesters. So pretty cool, because if you have a strong PC, maybe you're a gamer and you use your PC, you don't use your PC, you could as well just rent your computing power to the Golem network and get a small financial incentive for that. I remember back when I bought my first PlayStation 3 that you could rent your computing power to the network and then help science with that. I couldn't imagine how that worked, but it was very interesting to me. And Amazon Web Services, for example, also started their service in 2006. So the question is, of course, how much you're going to get paid. Will it be worth more than the electricity that you use? But that's something we'll discuss a little bit later. So Golem utilizes an Ethereum-based transaction system to settle payments between providers, requesters, and software developers. All computations take place in sandbox environments and are fully isolated from the host system. Software developers are in the center of Golem's ecosystem. Application, registry, and transaction framework enable anyone to deploy, distribute, and monetize application in the Golem network. And these are some use cases, some concrete situations where cloud computing might be better than rendering with your PC. For example, CGI rendering. So whoever did render on a PC, you know that even just changing one frame in a video, you have to render the whole video. And when it's a high definition video that takes like 20 minutes, it sometimes takes a while on my PC. So that's why I try not to cut a lot in my videos. First of all, because I want to have an affluent, how do you call it? Because I want to improve my rhetorical skills. And there you go, I had to cut it just when I was talking about it. And for example, CGI rendering. So whoever used Adobe After Effects knows that it takes forever for a video to render. And for example, Hollywood movies such as Transformers, like one frame, not 1 second, but one frame has to be worked on for 24 hours. So extremely, like, it's just extreme how much computing power they need. And of course they can't do that on a single machine. So that's why CGI rendering in cloud computing is very interesting for the movie industry. And the first version of Golem, Brass Golem, will be only specialized in CGI rendering. And another use case can be business, for example, stock market and big data analysis. So there's a lot of data that goes into stocks and big data analysis, and you need a strong PC to analyze that. So another use case. Machine learning, teaching AI, recognizing human images or voice patterns takes a lot of computing power. Cryptography, of course, mining pools are also possible. For science, of course, DNA analysis, protein folding simulations, and searching for alien life. Interesting. And microservices, so run decentralized microservices and decentralized apps, the so-called dApps. And the competition of Golem is SONM and IXRLC. They're also cryptocurrencies on CoinMarketCap and are listed there, although among those three supercomputer services, Golem is by far the biggest one. But then the last competitor is Amazon Web Services, and that's a tough one. So Amazon Web Services has been around since 2006, and the question is, of course, is a decentralized supercomputer really better than a centralized service offered from Amazon? Just because it's decentralized doesn't have to mean that it's better. And at the end of the day, you have to keep in mind that the consumer, Amazon is a brand. So the consumer, when he sees Amazon, he knows that Amazon has a reputation for doing everything for their customer. So having Amazon as a competitor is quite a challenge. And there are not a lot of views on Golem. So the Brass Golem that is only focused on CGI is going to release in early 2018. They partnered up with FriendUp Cloud in 2017. So FriendUp Cloud wants to be the glue for cryptocurrencies and combine different blockchains together, but they're already partnered up in July, and they also partnered with Streamer. So as you can see, since 2016, Golem had quite a development. Currently, we're seeing a pretty steep decline because, of course, we're having a little crisis with China and South Korea. But that is something that I'm going to talk about at the end of the video. So currently, you might be seeing a nice buying opportunity for Golem. And these are the quick stats provided by Coin Checkup. So as you can see, Golem went up 30% in the last 30 days. So my conclusion of Golem is that, just like all other cloud computing, it's a great service for companies that need that computing power. But the question is, will it become stronger than Amazon Web Services? And Amazon Web Services is quite a competitor. How will the price advantage over Amazon Web Services be? To be honest, I never use cloud computing, so I'm not an expert on that field, but I just know, I don't have to be an expert to know that having Amazon as a competitor is quite a big challenge. But I think that in the cloud computing business, there's a lot of potential. It's more than $1 billion industry, and will in any case become a $1 billion industry in the next few years if it isn't. And there's a lot of money in that. So I think the cake is big enough for multiple competitors. So thank you very much for your attention. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and always invest responsibly. Comment down below with your Litecoin address if you have a question, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any video. Hit the notification bell and share it with friends and family, of course. Now let's talk about the little correction that's going on right now, because as you can see, the market cap is declining in quite an interesting way. So we're 536 million. Oh my God. So guys, what is going on? So one thing is, of course, is the crypto market booming or maturing? I think this is a great article on Cointelegraph. So as you can see, David Stockman, Ronald Reagan's former director of office management, has quite a pessimistic view on cryptocurrencies, and he says it's basically a class of really stupid speculators who have convinced themselves that trees grow to the sky. It will burn out and speculators crash. All of these latter day speculators will have their hands burned to a crisp, and they will learn the proper lessons. So something that we see quite often among people who are kind of old school and, you know, they're into stocks and stuff like that, that they don't believe the cryptocurrencies have a future. Everybody's entitled to his personal opinion. So I think that many people will definitely get a lesson from the cryptocurrency market, because instead of learning how to invest and learning how to trade and then investing, they first invest and then get a slap on the wrist and then learn what to do. But Jeffrey Kleintop, chief strategist at Charles Schwab, said, I think the Bitcoin bubble, if you want to call it that, is something different. If Bitcoin prices were to plunge suddenly because it's so independent from the financial system, it's a kind of its own thing. It hasn't yet become embedded in the economy and the financial structure. So totally agree on that one. Cryptocurrencies are something totally different, and we'll have to see. And it's a market with its own rules. So some rules do apply to cryptocurrencies, but not everything. It's super volatile, and you have to be really careful when investing in cryptocurrencies. Then the chief financial officer at JP Morgan said, we're very open-minded to the potential use cases in the future of digital currencies that are properly controlled and regulated. So a few months ago, JP Morgan was not so keen towards cryptocurrencies, and now all of a sudden they're like a little bit more open. So maybe because they bought the dip of Bitcoin. But to be honest, of course, cryptocurrencies, the problem that many states and financial institutions see with cryptocurrencies, and I totally agree with that, is that it's not very regulated. So for example, ICOs, it's quite a challenge for a company to do an IPO, so to get listed on the stock market takes a lot of time and a lot of knowledge. But if you invest in stocks, you know that you have a right to vote. You know that the company is not, I mean, in most cases, is not a fraud. And with ICOs, it's super easy for shady companies to just raise a lot of money and then just vanish with it. So I do agree that it would make sense to regulate cryptocurrencies at least a little bit more, so people have more security when it comes to cryptocurrencies. And something that I also enjoyed was this quote: if cryptocurrencies is gaining some sense of legitimacy by the CBOE, when they begin to pay taxes on it, when it ceases to be an avenue for avoiding taxes, when it ceases to be a place where the drug dealers are trading and making transactions, then it'll be interesting. So interesting quote here. And the reason, so I was talking earlier about the correction, and one of the reasons why we are seeing such a decline in value is some issues with China and South Korea. Of course, South Korean government said that it wants to regulate cryptocurrencies a bit more, although the news that came from South Korea were blown out of proportion by mainstream media. South Korea does not want to ban cryptocurrencies, and it wouldn't make sense because many people from South Korea have invested in cryptocurrencies, and South Korea is a country that is very open towards new technologies. So state wanting to regulate a little bit more when it comes to cryptocurrencies is just something very natural in my opinion, and does make sense. So another thing that adds fuel to the correction right now, older post from January 3rd. China's central bank has reportedly told a prominent government internet finance group that while it does not have the authority to regulate Bitcoin mining directly, it can instruct local government to implement regulations that causes Bitcoin mining to be less profitable. So while cryptocurrencies are quite independent of governments, we still see that they do have some power over cryptocurrencies by implementing regulations, which makes it just really tough for people to keep cryptocurrencies profitable. And one more thing that I still wanted to add is that, in my opinion, of course, cryptocurrencies are bleeding. There is not a single winner in the top 100 today, only losers pretty much. We see the biggest correction, of course, with the coins that had the biggest hype, so they're correcting heavily. But in my opinion, this is still a great buying opportunity. You can get great coins for a discount because, guys, don't keep in mind that Binance only a few days ago, they opened up their window to making for opening new accounts, and they got 250,000 new accounts on Binance. So it's amazing, and there are still a lot of people who want to get into cryptocurrency. Same goes with Kraken. They wanted to do a quick update, but they were down for a while. So people had flashbacks of Mt. Gox, and you have to keep in mind that after the hype of cryptocurrencies, many people put their eyes on cryptocurrencies. And while, of course, that enabled a lot of money to come into the market, with more eyes taking a look at cryptocurrencies, the market just becomes more mature because more people with a financial background see cryptocurrencies and they think that it's interesting. And while Bitcoin was booming in December and we had an all-time high after the other every day, many people who are how should I say it, experienced with investing knew that it wasn't the best time to invest because, first of all, Bitcoin was just very volatile and all the coins were really expensive. So just because we're seeing this huge correction doesn't mean that it's the end for cryptocurrencies. I would even say that this is the best opportunity for mature hands, for people with experience to get into cryptocurrencies, and we will definitely bounce back to a new all-time high very soon. But keep in mind that this is just my subjective opinion and not actual financial advice. So invest carefully. And now that I have said that, I just wanted to do my giveaway. So as you know, every day I'm giving away a small amount of Litecoin. So yesterday I uploaded a video on Tron and we have 28 comments. Let's see who's going to be the winner. First Coin Trader is the winner. Thank you very much for your compliment, but my friend, make sure to include your Litecoin address because I cannot send you any Litecoin if you don't provide me with an address. So I actually do the giveaways. I'm not just talking about that. Yeah, well, one more time, and I think now the third time I must get a winner. And the winner is Kajamanson. Best video. Thanks, man. I hope it will go up again. I think your hopes are going to be in vain for today because today is a huge correction and it won't go up today. That's at least my opinion. I think so. But at the same time, don't forget that we're seeing a great buying opportunity. So guys, thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave it a thumbs up and comment down below with your Litecoin address so I can send you your raffle win. And thank you very much and see you next time. Bye bye.